This is Tom and Joy. They are just so precious. Anyway, their whole lives changed at this restaurant about a week ago when Tom kneeled down to ask the big question, Joy, will you set aside my utter ugliness and my bad smell and marry me? And of course she said yes. I mean, look at that bundle of handsomeness. But with hearing this, I took it upon myself to make them the biggest Lego wedding of all time. Let's begin. So this wedding is going to take place on a beach. Whether they like the beach or not, I don't know. I don't care. That's just where it's going. The beach will obviously be surrounded by a lot of water and of course a ton of seaweed. And when I say a ton, I mean I put every single piece of seaweed I could find on this beach. Then Tom and Joy showed up and Tom hits me with this. Neither one of us really like the beach. She's allergic to the sea air and I just never had a feeling for the beach, so I don't know why we're having a wedding here. And then I stepped in and I said, be gone! Young love, they don't know what's best for them. I then paid some sharks to swim around the island, and I'll tell you why. Later on in the video, I'm building this church for their wedding. And so if one of them start having second thoughts while in the wedding, they can run out of the church, but they cannot escape the island. That is, unless you're okay with being gobbled up by sharks. And I'm doing this because I spent too long on this wedding, and I'm not canceling it. The other thing we'll need to consider are the mosquitoes. I can see it now. They'll bite the bride, which will set off an allergic reaction, and then we'll have to get this medical team in here and everything. And that's not something they're gonna want to remember about their wedding. So we'll need to make a bunch of these mosquito smoke sticks to keep them varmints away. Yeah, so hopefully that's not too many. But the next thing we'll need out here are some palm trees. These may look nice, but they're mainly to keep the sun out because we don't want our minifigures to melt, you know what I'm saying? Wait, where's Tom? Oh my goodness, Tom! The last thing we'll need out here is a booth for food and drinks. We'll just need some walls, some decor on the building, and of course a menu. Let's add some food. In this refrigerator, I'm going to add the cold items like milk, eggs, a water bottle, and lastly, some chicken legs. I know chicken legs are not a cold item. Next, our booth will need a grill to cook this food. So I went and bought this puppy form from the greatest grill house in town. Apparently, this puppy can cook up to 64 burgers a minute. I mean, I didn't even know that was possible. I thought that was up to the chef. But with that, I added a wall and a window in front, along with this decor. And then lastly, I put this roof on top. Now, Tom and Joy can treat themselves to anything on the menu. Oh, but then Tom had to add his 2 cents. Yeah, so he's serving burgers and we're both vegetarians, so I don't know where he missed that part. And then I said, be gone! Next, over in this spot over here, we're gonna build the church. Those wedding bells are getting louder and louder. I'm telling you, I can hear them right now. I really can't. I am now building the foundation for the church. And being a church, I figured I'd go with some classic wood floors. I did add these studs on the floor so I can add pews later on, but that was not the hardest thing to build here. If you know Lego, you know that brown pieces snap like a chicken's bone, so taking this floor apart later is going to be like a tornado through a trailer park. Next thing we'll need are some pews. I built 6 of these puppies and I put 3 on each side. Boy, we are getting that classic church feel now. But next we'll need to make this raised platform. Up here's where it's all gonna happen, but we need this wedding to be stylish. So behind Tom and Joy here, we're gonna put some decor. And I have had a pretty good idea for this part. So here I built an archway. It kind of reminds me of like an entrance to a house. And I did put some studs on the side so I could add some decorations like these leaves. It already looks pretty nice, but then I realized I have these fence pieces too. So I put one of these fence pieces on each side of the archway. And look at that, it looks like an entrance to a beautiful home, which I already built them. Check out that video here. But hold on, we're also gonna need a piano. Lucky for me, Lego already made a printed piano piece and it looks good.
A little too good.
All you really have to do with this piece is build a stand around it. Unfortunately, this is no grand piano, but it'll have to do. And lastly, this will probably barely fit up here, but we need a stool for the pianist. And look at this, the entire church is all ready. And being this close to finishing, I had to tell Tom and Joy. And Joy freaked out and started thinking about all that could go bad during the wedding. So she and Tom got in their car and they went on a drive somewhere so that Joy can cool down. Meanwhile, we have to finish this church. Okay, so I've been adding the walls, which are looking pretty good. But I am up to the windows now, and I am unsure of which windows to use. I've got these tiny little arch ones that kind of look like church windows, but they're a little small for this size building. And I've got these other windows that look a little too modern for this kind of church. But then I found the perfect windows. These are kind of old-timey, and they're not too small. Now that is a good looking church. I like that church. But now we are at the part in our journey where we need to add a roof. So I built up the walls and angled the bricks so that the roof can lie sideways. And I did add this awkward box here, and we'll get back to this later. Right now, I am building this roof for one side of the church. I added these slope pieces so that when you put it on the church, it slides in and catches just like that. Now I'm going to build an exact replica of that same roof, but for the other side. And even with that done, we still have this massive ugly hole in the roof. So I built one last piece here and put that on top, running into this ugly box. box. Which, speaking of, we are at that point now. We are now building the church steeple. So I built up the box a little more, and that gives you room to walk around up here. Next, I built up this sort of hollow space for the bell. And with that being done, it's time to add a ceiling and the bell itself. And now if we just add a steeple, this church is officially complete. And that means it's time to add our church to the beach. And I don't know about you, but this place do be looking kind of dry to me. So I am surrounding the church with these dark plates. It's supposed to serve as black mulch, but whether it looks like that, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Next, I'm gonna surround that black mulch with a lot of these Lego studs. Definitely trying to use a bunch of different colors here, but if you surround the entire building, that'll look similar to rocks. And now I'm just adding different types of Lego plants. But I think the main plant Joy would want at her wedding would be flowers. So I decided to surround the church with a bunch of them. Red flowers, yellow flowers, white flowers, we've got them all. Then I added this little tiny pathway in front of the church, and our church is officially completed. Now, my friends, it is time to bring in all of the guests that we have invited to this wedding, including some that invited themselves. First, we have little Tommy here. I don't even know who he is. He's not related to anybody. Then we've got the man who always shows up to give you money because he's got so much. The man who always shows up asking for money because he doesn't have any. Steve. I was confused too. Then we have Joy's parents, Alan and Barth. Let's go with that. Then we have Tom's parents, Timothy and Samantha, and of course Tom's brother. Don't ask any questions. We have Barbara and her baby. They keep the city bank safe. And last but not least, the bike rider who nobody invited. And with our full crowd here, I started piling them inside the church one by one. No question about it, it's a full crowd. But then I realized one thing. Everyone in the crowd is nicely dressed, but Tom and Joy, the ones that are getting married, are not. So I quickly got out some of the nicest tuxedos I have. And Tom looked a mess in every single one of them. Everyone. It was just awful. Until finally, I found the perfect suit. It was white, it was perfect. But I still had Joy to worry about. Right away, she tried on this green Harry Potter dress, and oh my goodness, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. And then I found this white one, and it fits. It's perfect. It matches Tom. No words. And so I put Tom up here in his position. I brought in this pastor who I'm 99% sure is actually Dracula, but you know, we're not gonna go there. And we've got our pianist who I'm pretty sure could be Dracula's wife, so this absolutely makes sense. And now it's time. Joy is coming through the door. She's walking down the aisle perfectly. Oh, she fell. She's back up. She's good. She's good. Do you, Joy, take Tom to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
You may kiss the bride. Oh yeah, I'm sure 100% this man is Dracula. So yes, Tom and Joy got married, but then I realized they're gonna go on honeymoon, so we're gonna need to build them a car. So I put some bricks together for a while, and I eventually came up with this. I can confirm it does have tires, mirrors, it does have mirrors, and I did attach a bunch of cans to this string and tied that to the back of the car like you see at a lot of weddings. So Tom and Joy got in their brand new car and headed off to that honeymoon. They seriously just forgot their family just like that, just took off without them. They don't even care. They're just gone history. Anyway, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.